So this is where your mother expired, but your father still live in Israel?
No, he's here.
Oh, he's here now?
He's here.
I went to Israel. I love Israel.
It's beautiful.
Have you ever gone there? Oh, my God.
She wants me to go.
I
We'll
know.
go one day.
Yeah.
I think that one of the requirements to go to heaven when you die is you have to have gone to Israel first.
Really?
Yeah.
He's strong.
Yeah.
No, Israel is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It really is amazing.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we went once and then we sent another busload of people back over there.
Yeah.
Young people and stuff like that to visit. That's how much I love Israel.
Well, I guess I got to go then. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would really. And then you're going to see the Allahu Abba people. They'll.
I can't keep the stone face, bro.
They remind me of the blacks in America.
Yeah.
There's a city called David, right? And the Jews gave it over to the Allahu Abba people. And instead of them making it look good, they turned it into a ghetto. And the Jews got their areas so pretty. You know, the white people are, right? It's so nice and clean.
Yeah.
And the city of David could be beautiful. It has all these hills and things. But because they're mad at the Jews about nothing,
they messed it
they
all
won't
up.
even clean up their own place.
Yeah.
Isn't that a mess?
It makes sense. I mean, it makes sense, though.
No, it doesn't make sense.
I'm saying, given how you described it and comparing it to how it is here, it makes sense.
It makes sense?
No, it makes no sense.
What doesn't make sense about that?
Why would you not clean up where you live to get at someone else? That makes
Because they're angry. When you're angry, you can't. You're constantly
Can't be
trying to get
rational.
revenge against the people or the person that you get nothing done for yourself.
Right. It's terrible.
Isn't that amazing?
Terrible.
It makes sense because people are crazy.
Yeah. What's wrong with the blacks?
Bruh, you gotta be more specific. What blacks you talking about?
In America.
Generations and generations of like cultural trauma, conditioning, you know what I mean, brainwashing. That's what
By
I think
who?
it is. Family, TV, society, victim mind state, victimhood mentality.
Yeah. You agree with that?
I don't have an opinion on it. I grew up in Israel, so I
How long you
tell
been over here?
I moved here in 2004. So.
And you haven't noticed that most of the blacks are screwed up?
No.
Oh, you don't get out?
No, I mean, the ones I'm around are not, so.
And how they're not?
They're good people.
What's good about them?
They have good character, good morals. They're fun to be around.
It is because of the lack of love from the fathers, and the mothers have turned them away from the fathers, because when you're turned away from your earthly father, you're turned away from God. Men represent God on earth, God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. And the worst thing that can happen to a child, any race, is to turn them away from their fathers.
Let's get more specific though. You said what's wrong with black folk? Like, what specifically are you talking about?
The anger, the begging,
like crime, and
the begging for affirmative action and reparations, and crime, and the way they treat one another and others. It wasn't like that when I was growing up. It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
We didn't rely on the government or anything. And
yeah, welfare definitely messed up black folks too.
Yeah.
But that's kind of out they control. If you raised in a welfare condition, you don't know anything outside of that. So, you know, that's just perception. And then as far as crime and stuff is concerned, like, I wouldn't paint all black folks with that crime
Well,
brush.
not
'cause
all, but most.
those those typically take place in like crime-ridden areas. You know what I'm saying?
like Beverly Hills. Is Beverly Hills a crime-ridden area?
Is it? I don't know.
No, but they all up there committing crime.
No. See, I can't paint all black folks with that brush. But
Well, I said not all, but most.
I know what you're talking about, because like,
what am I talking about?
If I know it's anecdotal, but like if I pull it back to just my family, you know, tons of black people, you know, they're not all intermixed in crime or whatever, man. I probably know like a handful of people that are, but I know a handful of white folks that are intermixed in crime as well. But I see what you're saying.
What am I saying? What do you see that I'm saying?
But like it's like a stereotype too. It's like black folks get that label. You know what I mean? And then, you know, the act of, you know, one black person or the act of black folks in a certain area doing some crazy shit is gonna cast all black folks as being associated or doing shit or doing the same type of behavior. And, you know, that's not the reality either. I don't think crime is, even though black folks are the most responsible for crime, like violent crimes and things but those happen in like these really fucked up areas though. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's reasons for that as well. I'm not trying to like, you know, say it's okay because this is why it is, but you know, the murder rate, violence, all that stuff happens in these certain pockets of black population in the hood or whatever, man. But all black folks don't live in the hood, and we need to do stuff to address that. But I think the underlying issue is kind of like, for me, when I made it anecdotal as far as like black folks and what we struggle with, I could not have a conversation about, you know, how we see eye to eye on certain things, more conservative with the black folk. Right. I couldn't have that conversation with the majority of my friends because they're so emotionally tied to how they see the world. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest issue.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're in their way, and as long as they holding on to this, you know, it's a brainwash. You know what I'm saying? They need to lift the veil because they're just doing themselves a disservice. You know what I'm saying? But they can't help it though. Cause I used to be there, bro. I used to be like, you know, black struggle this, you know, fuck the white man, blah, 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 fucking blah. I used to be like that, bro. And it took me being on YouTube, having these conversations with people all the time from different backgrounds, actually taking other people's perceptions. And it's like, I used to be at a point where I'm black, I see the world this way, and if you ain't black, you can't say anything about what I'm talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I used to be that way, but you have to take in consideration everybody else's perspective, and if you really took yourself out of there, take all the bias out of there, which black folks will never do because they play the victim card, it's like, bruh, it's right there in front of you. Like it's not as bad as you think it is. Yeah. It's not as bad as you think it is, but you just can't let it go. You will not let it go. Yeah. And then we get cast as Uncle Tom, house nigga this, that, and the third because we do not identify with the black struggle. You know what I'm saying? It's a victimhood, man. It pisses me off because it's like, ain't nothing I can't do. There's nothing you can't do that I can't do because of this.
That's right.
I mean, it's because of fucking you being generational like conditioning to think that you're less than because you're black, which is a bunch of bullshit. And it's comfortable, it's complacent. It requires you don't have to like. As long as I have this victimhood or this complacent mentality, I don't have to put any burden on me to go out there and do anything because as long as there's the black struggle label, he can't help it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it makes him comfortable in his complacency. That's a bunch of bullshit too.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And black folks are not lazy. Black folks are, if we got enough like strength and power in us to like take the shit over if we wanted to. But like how far is our dollar stretch buying shit that don't fucking matter? If they put that money into like real estate and companies and LLCs and all this shit, bro, you can change the fucking societal image of like the black struggle type of shit. But as long as society keeps dangling this, hey, you a nigga, you know you can't do right, blah, 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 they gonna keep lashing onto it all the damn time because it's generational attachment to that shit and it's comfortable. Victimhood is comfortable.
What a mess.
Yeah, bro.
That's a shame. They have good black people in Israel.
See, when I grew up, the only darker skinned people were from Morocco. In Israel.
But they found some real black Jews, right, that were lost in wilderness somewhere. And
nothing about that.
What were they called, Bill?
Ethiopian Jews.
What that?
Ethiopian Jews?
They were like the real Jews. And they brought them over to Israel, what they found. They were still living that life and everything.
That's awesome.
And you don't know about that?
No, I mean, I've been here since 2004, so.
2004? Well, this happened before 2004.
But you was a kid too, so you probably.
I mean, yeah.
Oh,
I left when I was 12.
Oh, okay.
So.
Amazing.